There are places in America where time stands still, entire towns left abandoned, buildings frozen in decay, and eerie whispers of the past echoing through empty streets. What happened to these ghost towns? And why do some say they're still haunted? Imagine walking through a town where time has frozen, where buildings stand eerily intact, and the whispers of the past seem to echo through the deserted streets. These are the ghost towns of America once thriving, now lost in time. But why were they abandoned? And what secrets do they still hold? Stick around, because today, we're uncovering the USA's most enigmatic ghost towns. The most mysterious ghost towns in the US, where history, tragedy, and the supernatural collide. And trust me, you won't believe what we found in some of them. 10. Bodie, California. Nestled high in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Bodie was once a thriving gold rush town with over 10,000 residents. During its peak in the late 1800s, it was notorious for lawlessness, gunfights, and opulent saloons. But as the gold ran dry, people started leaving, and by the early 1900s, Bodie became a ghost town. Unlike most abandoned places, Bodie is preserved in a state of arrested decay, meaning its buildings remain untouched, exactly as they were left. The interiors of houses and stores still have furniture, dishes, and even newspapers from a century ago. Adding to the mystery is the Bodie Curse, a legend stating that anyone who steals an artifact, even a rock, will be cursed with misfortune. Park rangers regularly receive mailed-back artifacts from terrified tourists who claim to have suffered accidents, job losses, and financial ruin after taking a souvenir. Is Bodie just another forgotten town, or is something still lingering in its dusty streets? 9. Centralia, Pennsylvania. Centralia was once a bustling coal mining town, but in 1962, a small fire in a landfill ignited an underground coal vein. The fire never stopped burning. Beneath Centralia, coal has been smoldering for over 60 years, creating a hellish landscape of cracked roads, toxic gas leaks, and sinkholes. At its peak, Centralia had over 1,000 residents, but as the fire spread, deadly gases made it unlivable. By the 1980s, most people had left, and the government seized the town through eminent domain. Today, only a few stubborn residents remain, refusing to leave their doomed homes. The town's eerie, smoke-filled streets inspired the video game and movie Silent Hill. Some visitors report unsettling experiences of shadowy figures in the smoke, sudden temperature drops, and strange whispers in the empty houses. Whether haunted or simply an apocalyptic wasteland, Centralia is one of America's most unsettling ghost towns. Today, Centralia looks post-apocalyptic, with an eerie, smoking landscape that inspired the horror film Silent Hill. But what's even stranger, a handful of people still live there, despite the dangers. Would you? 8. Kennecott, Alaska. Hidden deep in the Alaskan wilderness, Kennecott was once a thriving copper mining town, bringing in millions in revenue. But by the 1930s, the copper dried up, and the town was abandoned overnight. What makes Kennecott so eerie is how well preserved it is. The old red buildings, the mine, and even equipment remain almost exactly as they were left. Walking through Kennecott feels like stepping into a time capsule. Papers still sit on desks, and personal belongings are scattered in homes. With its isolation and haunting silence, Kennecott remains one of the most mysterious ghost towns in America. 7. Cahaba, Alabama. Once Alabama's first state capital, Cahaba was thriving in the early 1800s. But due to frequent flooding from the nearby Cahaba River, the town became too dangerous to live in, and by the late 1800s, it was abandoned. Today, Cahaba is nothing but ruins, overtaken by nature. Crumbling brick buildings, overgrown streets, and an old cemetery are all that remain. But what makes it even more eerie? Many claim it's haunted. One of the creepiest legends is about the abandoned church's bell. Despite the church being gone for over a century, some claim they can still hear the bell toll at night. Cahaba is a ghost town in every sense of the word. 6. Garnet, Montana. Unlike most ghost towns, Garnet isn't completely abandoned, at least not according to visitors. This 19th century mining town still stands remarkably intact, with cabins, saloons, and a hotel frozen in time. But what draws people here isn't just the history, it's the paranormal activity. Locals and tourists report hearing ghostly voices, laughter, and piano music coming from empty buildings. Some even claim to have seen full-body apparitions of miners in old-fashioned clothes wandering the streets. Garnet becomes even more eerie in winter when deep snowfall makes it nearly inaccessible. Rangers who stay behind to watch over the town report seeing mysterious lights and hearing footsteps outside their cabins despite there being no one else around for miles. 5. Thurmond, West Virginia. Thurmond was once a booming railroad town, serving as a key hub for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway. In the early 1900s, the town was home to bustling hotels, banks, and even a notorious red light district. But when the railway industry declined and highways replaced trains, Thurmond's population dwindled. Today, fewer than 5 people live in Thurmond. The town's old bank, post office, and train station remain, but they are completely abandoned. Walking through Thurmond feels like stepping into a different era, with the railroad tracks still intact and the empty storefronts frozen in time. 4. Glen Rio, Texas or New Mexico. Once a thriving Route 66 stop, Glen Rio was a town built for road trippers. It straddles the Texas-New Mexico border and once boasted diners, gas stations, and motels catering to travelers. But when Interstate 40 bypassed Glen Rio in the 1970s, business dried up and the town was abandoned. Some visitors claim to see shadowy figures moving inside the buildings, especially near the abandoned motels. Others report strange car headlights appearing in the distance, only to vanish when approached. Glen Rio is a reminder of how quickly progress can leave places behind, turning once busy towns into eerie, lifeless relics of the past. 3rd Street, Elmo, Colorado. Elmo was a bustling mining town in the late 1800s, home to hundreds of people searching for fortune in the Rocky Mountains. But when the mines dried up, so did the town's prosperity. By the 1920s, St. Elmo was nearly deserted, left to decay in the harsh Colorado wilderness. One resident, Annabelle "Dirty Annie" Stark, refused to leave. She lived in St. Elmo long after the town was abandoned, becoming a recluse who rarely spoke to outsiders. After her death, locals say she never truly left. Whether it's just the wind or something more, St. Elmo remains one of the most well-preserved and eerie ghost towns in America. 2. Rhyolite, Nevada. Rhyolite was built during a gold rush in the early 1900s, growing rapidly with hotels, banks, and even a stock exchange. But just as quickly as it rose, it fell. By 1916, the gold was gone, the bank collapsed, and residents fled. What makes Rhyolite unique is the way it looks today. Its skeletal buildings, including a crumbling three-story bank and a school with no roof, stand eerily against the desert landscape. The town feels like a movie set, with its ruins telling the story of a boomtown that didn't last. Rhyolite may be lifeless, but its eerie silence makes it one of America's most unforgettable ghost towns. Could it be the spirits of the miners who once called Rhyolite home? Or something else lurking in the darkness? 1. Dudley Town, Connecticut. Dudley Town isn't just abandoned, it's considered cursed. Founded in the 1700s, this small Connecticut settlement was plagued by misfortune. Many early residents suffered unexplained deaths, mental breakdowns, and disappearances. Eventually, the entire town was abandoned, and the surrounding forest reclaimed the land. Some believe Dudley Town's bad luck is due to a curse brought by the Dudley family, who were said to be cursed since their ancestors betrayed the British crown. Others claim the land itself is haunted by ancient spirits. Is it just an abandoned settlement, or does something darker linger in the shadows? The U.S. is filled with ghost towns, each with its own haunting history. Honorable mentions go to Kennecott, Alaska, an abandoned copper mine where visitors report shadowy figures. Thurman, West Virginia, a deserted railway town that still has a functioning train station. And Glen Rio, Texas, New Mexico, a forgotten Route 66 town that's now frozen in the 1950s. So which of these ghost towns would you dare to visit? Do you believe in the legends, or are they just eerie coincidences? Let us know in the comments. And before you leave, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we have more spine-chilling adventures coming your way. Until next time, keep exploring. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find a ghost town of your own. If you love exploring eerie and abandoned places, hit that subscribe button and stick around for more chilling stories.